Hello bakers, and welcome back to another Taste of Theatre special here on the Baking Bible. Now Halloween is fast approaching and there is so much on in the West End if you want to get into the Halloween spirit. We've got Wicked, The Exorcist, The Woman in Black and so much more. So if you want to check out something this weekend, load up the TodayTix app and see what you can find. For this spooky theatre Halloween themed bake, I've chosen to go with a classic monster that's been brought back to life in a new musical. It's Young Frankenstein. It's October, also known as pumpkin spice season, so I've whipped up this pumpkin spice sponge with a coffee buttercream decorated as Frankenstein's monster, which I'm sure is going to come to life with a bang. Mel Brooks Young Frankenstein is perfect for this time of year. Frederick Frankenstein, grandson of Dr. Frankenstein, moves to Transylvania to follow on the legacy of his grandfather. It's a comedy musical that will definitely make you chuckle, and it can be quite crude at times, so probably not for all audiences, but it's just a bit of light-hearted fun that will definitely leave you smiling. For the sponge, beat butter and dark soft brown sugar together until light and fluffy. Pour in your eggs one at a time with a bit of flour if it begins to curdle. Add in the rest of your flour along with your spices, mixed spice, nutmeg and cinnamon. You also need to add in some vanilla and 1 can of pumpkin puree. Beat until smooth and then pour into a grease and lined baking tin and bake in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes. It's great to see some fresh faces on the West End stage, and the cast of Young Frankenstein definitely don't disappoint. A lot of the comic excellence is definitely down to their amazing acting, and I have to give a shout out to the ensemble who pull off some incredible dance sequences throughout the show. Once your cake has cooled, level it off and then slice it in half. Use a stencil to carve out the shape of Frankenstein's face and then clean up the edges. For our coffee buttercream, I've whisked together butter and icing sugar with some milk and fine coffee powder. Spread some of your buttercream onto a cake board and then place half of your cake down. Spread an even layer of icing in the middle and then sandwich your second layer on top. Crumb coat the outside of the cake with a little more buttercream and then chill in the fridge for an hour. Place a line of fondant along the brow to give it some definition and a ball in the middle for your nose. Apply a second coat of buttercream, smooth over the top and sides, and then pop back into the fridge for another hour. The music in Young Frankenstein will definitely leave you smiling due to the very weird and wacky lyrics. There's upbeat dance numbers and also some great ballads about ex-boyfriends, but they're all very catchy and will have you humming along all week. To decorate, roll out some green fondant to 1/2 centimetre thick and then drape over the cake. Smooth over the design and then trim off the excess. For the hair, roll out some black fondant and place over the top of your cake. You can then trim it down to create your hairline. Make triangles out of some more black fondant and then place them on top to give it some depth. You can then score the fondant to add texture and even it out. For the eyes, you'll need to cut out white, green and black circles. Layer on top of each other and then place onto the cake, trimming slightly to align with the brows. Now you're probably wondering, where are Frankenstein's signature bolts? Well, we need to zap him to life with electricity, so I've got some star sparklers. Trim the sparklers down slightly and then wrap the ends in foil to keep the sponge safe. Insert into either side of your cake and it's almost time. Set the sparklers alight just before serving and he's alive! Our pumpkin spice latte Frankenstein cake is ready to head out into the big wide world. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe inspired by Young Frankenstein. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the show and the cake. Have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you next time.